Hi, in this video I will tell you a film with the theme of cooking wrapped in Kung Fu. Once upon a time there was a reliable chef named Wang Bingyi, played by Sammo Hung. Has been slandered to put poison in his food, and because of the many victims, he was expelled from the village and decided to wander. How exciting is the story of the film, and can the name Wang Bingyi be accepted again? Let's see the story. The scene starts with a banquet. At that moment, Master Yi discovered that the pork had been burnt. Because his assistant named Liang. Because pork dishes are the mainstay of the star of the banquet. Finally, the Yi master borrowed the dragon head machete that had been passed down from generation to generation. To replace the pork, using the machete he cut the pig perfectly. Then continue cooking with his assistant. But not long after, all the visitors who came to enjoy the food became sick. It turned out that what his assistant gave him was not salt but medicine that caused people who ate his food to get stomach ache. Master Yi was furious and beat his assistant. However, since Master Yi was the chef, he was the one who had to take responsibility for all that has happened. So he was expelled from the village. And not worthy of having a dragon's head machete. Switch scene in Kung Fu school. At that time the teacher held a competition. Whoever managed to move the school crest to its original place will be the first graduate to receive honors from the school. Instantly all the students immediately grabbed it. And the winner of the competition was a student named Kenz, a Kung Fu master student who loves to cook. And the farewell with the teacher is a bowl of noodles, which he made by combining Kung Fu with cooking. Then when Kenz left, his teacher told him to learn to cook from a master chef named Sung Waitik, who was at some restaurant. Long story short, when Kenz arrived at the restaurant, he accidentally met a girl named Ying, who is the sister of the restaurant owner named Qing. At the same time Yi master arrived at the restaurant. There Yi master was treated to a cup of tea by Ying and surprised Qing, the restaurant owner, because Yi master knew the ingredients to make tea exactly. Even his analysis intrigued Kenz. Master Yi then ordered a dish that was not on the menu, i.e. cabbage in clear water. Immediately the restaurant owner agreed. Even the chef named Sung immediately realized that the one who ordered the dish must be a chef, and when Yi master tried it, he was instantly transported to his past when he was with his brother, but the comments about the food were not good. Because according to him the wrong processing resulted in the loss of the purity of the clear water of cabbage cooking. After knowing the name of Master Yi, Master Sung immediately challenged him. If he lost he would leave the restaurant. But if Master Yi loses then he has to wash dishes for a year. Finally the Yi master accepted the challenge, but he needed an assistant, and Kenz was chosen. Master Sung's food is delicious because it's the restaurant's mainstay menu, but according to Master Yi, it's normal. At that time Ying was hot when she touched Master Yi's cooking. Because the skin layer of the meat was thin sugar that could withstand heat, so it was still like in the cooking process. And when Master Sung tasted it, he immediately admitted defeat. The food is called Lucky Duck, which has not been around for a long time. The chef who can make it perfectly turns out to make it without using a knife, because the meat is soft and the fibers will break when cut with a knife. At that time Kenz chased after Master Sung, who left because he came to the restaurant to learn from him. However, it turns out that Kenz misunderstood because Sumaitik was Sing's father and an older brother to Yi's master. Has died last year. Even Qing also knows what happened to Master Yi. But he believes that Master Yi is innocent because someone who loves to cook wouldn't do that. Because now the restaurant does not have a chef, Qing finally asked Master Yi to become chef. And because the Yi master felt obligated to look after the number of restaurants, he finally agreed, even though he needed an assistant and the Yi master wanted Ken's. Not long after, Ken's came back and immediately challenged Master Yi. In Ken's cutting skills, it starts with cutting the globefish, where the speed and sharpness of the blade greatly affect the results. And of course the results are very satisfying. But Master Yi didn't want to lose. In cutting freshwater fish, which usually can't match the taste of globefish, but after trying it, Ken's was pleasantly surprised by the taste because of the ingredients. Cut with a cold knife. Which makes the fish taste better. Even the most surprising was the cutting technique, which keeps the fish from dying, even after the meat is cut. Amazed by his prowess, Ken's wanted to learn from Master Yi even though he was willing to sharpen all rusty knives. A few days later, when the Yi master was with the restaurant owner, he remembered his nephew, Zhou Wangkai, who was the owner of the Cantonese King restaurant, and even Master's son came there to apply to become a chef after he was defeated by someone in a cooking competition. After hearing the name that beat him, Zhou immediately became angry for some reason that had happened in the past. At that time, when Zhou was a child, his father, who was the older brother of Master Yi, was angry because the Yi master hid the dragon head cleaver. Since the machete was the symbol of the greatest chef passed down from generation to generation, the two of them even went to the point of fighting. But when Master Yi was about to be hit by something big, his brother saved him. Until he was really injured. Due to that injury, Zhou's father lost his career, put it up, and chose to leave the village. Even in fact, Master Yi's brother is the greatest chef who won the World Cooking Championship for 2 consecutive times. Master Yi then taught Ken's, starting with cutting lessons, because a chef must have other advantages besides cooking, such as pounding the shoulder blades and others. Even Ken's got a new lesson when cooking eggs, because behind the simplest dishes there are other difficulties in making them. The restaurant owner's sister, Ying, was also taught how to make the sauce. However, there is one wish that has not been fulfilled, which is to make cube bean pudding, which Master Yi will teach later. Long story short, some people are eating in their restaurant. It looks like they are driving nails into the food with the aim of ruining the reputation of the some restaurant. Turns out they were all sent by Zhou, who intends to take revenge on Master Yi. Just a moment, when Ken's and Ying were shopping, they saw people slandering the restaurant, and immediately attacked them until the shopping center collapsed. And when they both hide from chase, their Ken's accidentally saw the news about a cooking competition which is held every 4 years, to determine the best chef in China, and Ken's thought that it could improve the reputation of the restaurant. Finally, Ken's asked Master Yi to join him. At that time the Yi master refused, and instead ordered Ken's to enter the competition, and hoped to fight over the restaurant. Master Yi, while giving a box to Ken's. Long story short, the competition finally started when Master Yi returned to the village to solve the problem. Even the previous winner of the competition, Master Tin, the master chef of the Cantonese King restaurant, and his assistant, Master Sum, knew that Ken's. Stay confident and believe you can win it. And this first round begins with a chopping challenge that will only bring 2 teams to the final. At that time, Ken's was about to make a dish called the 4 Lucky Birds. The ingredients are stuffed with 4 types of poultry, while the rest of the team cook fish and scallops. And the Tin Master, who made the buffalo head dish. The judges judge the dishes of all participants from the taste of the ingredients and the cooking process. Therefore, the team that qualified for the final round is the representative of the Sum restaurant, and also the Cantonese King restaurant. After Zhou heard who his competitors in the final later, he and his men immediately attacked the restaurant, which ended with the arrest of Ken's and Ying, locked in the refrigerator. Not only that, The Yi master who had just returned from Po village was immediately attacked. Even Zhou had the heart to threaten to kill Kens and Ying. In the refrigerator whose key Master Yi had to take from the rattlesnake's cage. However, when the Yi master takes the key, he is stopped by Liang, the person who had slandered him on Zhou's orders earlier. He tells Master Yi that the key is fake and the real one is with him, then apologizes and frees the hostages so he can continue the competition. Back to the competition. The challenge in this final is to present a shop with the theme of purity, which is a dish without spices that emphasizes cooking skills so that people can enjoy the purity of food. On the other hand, Zhou returns to Master Yi with a now rusty dragon head machete. Before deciding on the dish, Kens remembered what Master Yi said, that cabbage dishes were considered the most delicious food. So Kens tried to make cabbage dishes in clear water and immediately prepared the ingredients. The techniques he learned were applied very well. From sifting through the fat from the meat to taking the heart of the cabbage and then pricking it with a needle so that the cabbage can be perfectly absorbed in the store. The Tin Master is also great at processing his cooking, even using the perfect way to process it. Heat the dish. Move to Master Yi after a long battle, finally defeating Zhou and his men. And then went with the dragon's head machete. Back in the competition, the judges finally tasted their cooking and it turned out that Ken's cooking was no match for the Tin Master, but when the referee was about to announce the winner, the Yi Master came to stop him and gave Ken's a machete. Cut the dish that was in the box that Ken's brought, namely cabbage beans. And when Ken's opened the machete, the rust on the knife disappeared instantly and cut into the cabbage beans. The cabbage beans in the store immediately mixed up and disappeared. Cabbage dish is very simple but resembles a treasure after being processed with the high art of cooking. While prioritizing the level of purity, the Tin Master, who was strange at that time, saw the judges silent, trying to taste the opponent's food, and after trying it immediately took off his hat to confess his defeat. Thanks to his food, Kens won the 7th cooking competition in China, and not only that, it turns out that Master Yi's brother, who is the greatest chef, was also present and even seemed to be close to his sister. On the other hand, Zhou, who saw it from television, immediately regretted all his actions. At the end of the film, Master Yi and his brother agree that Kens will inherit the machete, and wished he could make good food using a machete. Actually an interesting film and can be consumed by all ages, but this film failed to pack the scenes from a cooking-themed film, especially the scene during the competition. Thank you for watching this video to the end and see you in the next video. And leave your opinion in the comments.